the
Sorry, David, go ahead.
yeah, no problem. I think we could start the meeting now, and hopefully the alternates will join as we go. So why don't we go through roll call really quickly? I think just of the 5 board members. Matt Shipley, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Rita Martin?
Yes.
Okay, David Smith, I am here. And at least as of now, Amy Warspawn is not here. She intends to join in a little bit. Then will not be able to make the meeting today, but we have a quorum. We have 3 of our 5 active members. And then also in attendance is Joe Wall and Jack Casey from the town. Online we have, and Brian O'Malley, Chief Hawk from the town. Chief, who's sitting next to you, I can't see. She's behind Jack.
June.
Oh, hi, June.
Hello.
I assumed it was you, but I couldn't see your face. You were behind Jack, so. June is here. Falco is online. And it looks like Cynthia has just joined us online as well. Okay, so first item of business on agenda items. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there anybody else in person in the room that I did not mention?
Mr. O'Malley.
You mentioned it, so.
Oh, sorry.
That was in vain, though.
Comments on agenda items? Nope, hearing none. Move to the next item. Do I have a motion, or do I have any comments on the previous meeting's minutes from February 27th, 2024? Hearing no comments, does anyone want to make a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor of approving the meeting minutes from February 27th? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody say nay? Motion passes. The meeting minutes are approved. On to new business. Business is application updates. You or somebody else?
Application update.
Yeah, application update. I apologize, folks. As you all know, the deadline is April 19th. That's a Friday. Close of business 4 p.m. Physical agility and written test will follow. Date on that is Tuesday, May 7th, 9 a.m. Physical agility will be the first administered, followed a little while later by the written exam. They're all going to be, that's all going to be handled up at the Allegheny County Police Academy. To date, I believe we have 6 or 7 applications returned to us. That we continue to have 1 or 2 individuals filter in maybe daily. That might be a bit high, but we are handing out applications, you know, here and there. So we still have a few weeks, obviously, until that deadline. So hopeful to get a good turnout. And then, like I said, May 7th, I think, was it Justin maybe so far that's volunteered to maybe help proctor the written? We'll follow up with him and Rita as well. That'd be great. I'll plan to be there, if nothing else, to witness the physical agility. If I can hang out and help.
We didn't have it.
Yeah, take this out, stop. Where will it be?
The Allegheny County Police Academy right up here off Coomer
So
Road.
not at Carson.
Correct. I think it's 700 West Ridge Road, but you probably know where it's at.
Yeah.
Uh,
And what time?
9 a.m. will be the physical agility, so you could probably show up a bit later. I don't know how long that will take. Probably depends on how many candidates we have.
I have to give the town kudos because, you know, obviously I have some friends in law enforcement. And this is being seen far and wide.
Nice.
There are people that are that I anticipate are going to put their hat in the ring, as it were. They wait until they see how many people are in, it's just like any other position. But and I've heard from a lot of different people in Aspen, people in Millville, people in Shaler, people in Chalfont. Okay, people that I've had interactions with that have seen this, and it's captured a good bit of interest. So kudos to you for putting that together.
And to back up what Mr. Wall said, although I believe he is not qualified, I told him to consider us in the future. We have an individual that called me and spoke to me from Alaska, getting out of the military, coming back to Pittsburgh. Hoped he was qualified. Unfortunately, he's not yet, but I said, keep us in mind in the future.
Yeah, my question is to, we don't pay for training at the academy, do we? They have to be certified police before they apply. Okay.
There is a movement afoot about that area wide. We haven't committed to it yet as a town though, but others in the area, other communities have. Where you're,
I mean, there's a lot of ex-military, there's a lot of that have been MPs and whatnot, that don't necessarily have the qualifications that request for. But I don't know what the expense is.
I think a lot of communities got away from it because there were other training options.
Yeah.
We were looking at a different world possibly and trying to figure out what that looks like. You've seen a couple small municipalities jump in on doing this, but the city of Pittsburgh plus colleges and universities that offer programs have kind of filled that void over the last, I don't know, 40 years, where we used to send people to police academies probably before.
Yeah.
And do they still get money to attend universities when they've been in the military? I mean, that's still a thing, isn't it?
Yes,
The GI Bill.
Yeah, the GI Bill, that's what I meant. Mhm.
Hey, Ryan, when was the agility test again?
Tuesday, May 7th, 9 a.m., Matt.
Is
Tuesday,
that
May
also
7th.
up
Okay.
at the police academy?
It is. Yep.
you're getting done.
Thank you.
Tuesday, May 7th at 9 a.m. Okay, and it sounds like we have enough proctors right now, but if that changes, we need more. If somebody can't do it, let's all kind of keep each other in the loop on that.
Yeah, I could probably make that day. What's the location?
The Allegheny County Police Academy, that's 700 West Ridge Road. Matt, I don't know how familiar you are with Coomer Road.
He's very-
Yeah, I know where it is. It's I don't live too far from it.
And I don't think Jack and I can be a proctor, because eventually we're gonna be, involved in hiring from the list.
Okay, and then Chief, just as kind of a rough sketch, since that's when the physical and agility test is, how does kind of the the rest of the timeline lay out after that point? That's kind of the first step once we have our applicants in, right? That's kind of their first step, I guess I should. What's a
Absolutely.
rough timeline?
So after we get that agility passed and we get the written, obviously I get the scores back, determine if anyone failed and they don't proceed any longer, but the ones who do pass, then we'll schedule with you folks for the scored oral portion, and then personnel board, probably Justin or somebody with you folks will aggregate those scores, weight them properly, provide us with an overall score. At which point then we determine how many backgrounds we want to do in an initial wave, and then try to get them in front of council once the background checks are done, depending on how many we think we want, the town's gonna hire, how many council wants to interview.
That's 150,000 foot view. I think what David was asking for is, what do you think about the list?
I'd love to have one as soon as we can possibly have it, David. I'm gonna try to put
Getting closer. Now you're at 130,000.
the speed to it. Traditionally, it's been about a year, but we want to cut that way down if we can.
Yeah,
So-
and a lot on on us, so because we'll have to get We,
Scores come back pretty fast.
The written ones. The written ones do come back very fast. That company's pretty good about the turnaround, so then we can start moving with scheduling the orals. And as soon as quick as the personnel board wants to move with those interviews, great, and we can get those overall scores and we can start hitting background checks.
Which the urgency of that is gonna come later on in this agenda, because you know, David's gotta talk about the executive session. And then we gotta talk about your manpower update, which is concerning.
yeah, well, why don't we, I mean, since we're touching on it now, and I'd like to wait for Amy to get here to schedule the executive session anyway, hopefully she could be here and we can all work out a date sometime next week for that. Let's move.
Well, Justin's not gonna be here, so it's gonna be hard to work out of a date. And unless
He
he's,
sent an email saying he's available any day next week after 4 o'clock.
good to know, thanks.
Yep, sorry, I probably should have updated that. And I'm gonna double check my email to make sure I'm remembering that correctly, but said any day next week after 4 PM. Yes, any day next week after 4 PM. So we'll wait for Amy to try to all work out a schedule for that. So let's bump that bullet point down a little bit. It's up, so.
I think Amy's coming in now, Dave.
Oh, okay.
You wanna talk manpower update?
Yeah, we can still do a manpower update while we're waiting for Amy to get online.
Yeah, yeah.
The short and the sweet of it is, and I know that sometimes, whether or not it's the personnel board's job or not, I feel like obligated to keep you folks up to date. Just kind of backing up what we already know, that we would like to hire some more police officers. I believe I have right now, at last count, 3 officers off on various types of leave, injury related, with unknown return dates. And then we have one that will be on the books for some time, but abruptly, we won't have him back on the street. He's retiring. So from the number that we were at and being down, depending on the perspective, however many officers, now
We're down 4, is that right?
I think that's a safe number, absolutely.
And that's from who we have on our roster right now, and we were already 3 in the hole, right?
Yes.
Okay. So,
My crew numbers say that, county lead, we're at 27 right now, and that's counting a trainee as well. 27 total souls, but when you subtract the temporary injuries, the retirement and such.
all right, then let me ask you a couple of questions. Number 1. Are we having issues with overtime right now?
Thanks, sir.
May I make a point of order?
Who's that?
May I make a point of order? This is Jack Casey.
Go ahead, Jack.
It really isn't in the personnel board's authority to review and discuss manpower.
Yeah.
I gave you a copy of our personnel board powers and duties.
You tell us,
Pardon me?
you tell us,
Yes, ma'am.
or you tell us.
Yeah. Joe would discuss it with the town manager and the chief.
Chief, okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So, but our charge right now is, to get these applicants in and get them, once whoever passes the agility test, get them interviewed. And, rank them for council. And, and anything else we could do to help council in that regard. Chief, anything else on the manpower updates? Is there any update on when we kind of get our SROs returned?
So I'm in regular communication with the chief up there, and Right now, it's still slated for the end of this school year. There is a possibility that they could put some new school resource officers on the street, the North Allegheny school officers sooner. I've heard maybe by mid-April.
They actually start April 15th.
April 15 was the day I heard as well. There you go.
They start April 15th. They're gonna go through an indoctrination of roughly 4 weeks. So I wouldn't think that you'd have them back before Memorial Day. At the very earliest. I think what we ought to do is ride out the school year. Cause one of those guys is hurt too. So, I mean, if we ride it out, we'll get them back at the end of it, and probably first 2 weeks of June.
Okay. Chief, any other updates on the manpower front?
I think we covered it, and like Mr. Casey pointed out, I don't want to step on toes as a council leader. So
Yeah,
I think we covered it, probably sufficiently, David.
okay. And then, Chief, any other general updates from you? And then I'll move on to Joe and Jack for updates from council.
I think, council authorized you folks. We just need to figure out when it makes sense to look into that probably. But
That's what the executive session's for next week.
okay,
Look, this board's got some momentum going right now.
yeah,
And we got everybody with both boards in the water swimming in the same direction. Let's get this stuff done. Okay? We talked about as both council and the personnel board about the realignment of the command structure. And giving you more flexibility and actually delineating between labor and management. Okay? We need to move as quickly as we can in that regard. Okay? Whether we call him an assistant chief, we call it a lieutenant, I don't really care. I think it's probably gives us more flexibility to call him an assistant chief. But that's what we had discussed.
Again, that's
It's not
that's not the personnel board's
Yeah.
review.
Not our problem.
That's not our purpose.
I understand, Jack, but
It should be offline
there's a
with,
bigger story here.
I know, but it's not on the agenda either.
Actually,
So you have to
what I'm
move to
referring
put it
to,
on the agenda.
what I'm moving down the agenda here is that the promotions for sergeants and lieutenants, that's what I'm aiming at. Because this, you're right,
We do need to do that.
this
Yeah.
body does not have the purview to talk about lieutenants or assistant chief. But they do have the purview to do a lieutenant. But the assistant chief.
Yeah, and we're gonna, that's the next item on the list is to, Amy, I know you might have to leave early. So while everyone's here, is there a day and time next week that would work for an executive session? Justin is not here, but he let me know through email that he can make any day next week after 4 PM. For me, I'm not available Monday. And any other day I'm available after 5 PM. For the most part, I can make myself available after 5 PM. I prefer 6 o'clock, but if 5 PM works better for people. So is there a day next week, say starting at 5 PM or 6 PM that would work for an executive session for people?
This is Falco. My schedule, I do have meetings already on Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Those meetings start at 6 o'clock for both of those nights for me. So I could participate up to 6 o'clock, but I would have to jump off at that point.
The only day I have available is Tuesday next week, Tuesday evening.
Okay, Tuesday?
Tuesday and Thursday.
Okay, Tuesday, Falco, you're available. How about Amy, and Rita? Tuesday next week? Does that work for both of you?
Tuesday was my only day that I couldn't, however, I will. It's just theater, and I might be able to change that. And it's, yeah, So let me see if I can change that. If everybody's available on Tuesday, I don't wanna throw a clinker into that.
Okay, thank you, Rita. Amy?
I'm gonna be out of town Tuesday through Friday, so I may be able to join from Houston, but I don't know my schedule yet. So until we're trying to make plans when we're there, but I don't have that information yet. So unfortunately, at this point, for any day other than Monday, I'm a maybe.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll send around an email, just seeing what people's availability is. And maybe it ends up that we go to the next week out. And I'm going, but we all have time constraints, so. Let's take a look, or maybe it makes more sense if everyone can just take a look, say, over the next, for next week and the following week, what evenings would work for people. And times would work for people for. Because I do not know Justin's schedule after next week. I only know it for next week.
Well, Tuesday of the 9th is not good for me, but and Mondays are never good, but Wednesday and Thursday of the following week are fine.
I'll be out of town all the following week, but
Oh.
maybe be able to link in some way. I'll be in California.
Okay, well, we'll figure something out. I'll send an email around. Maybe let's preliminarily pencil in, not ink, but pencil, next Tuesday as a hold, Rita, see if you'd be able to make that work.
Yeah, I think
And then hopefully, Amy, we could loop you in, at the very least, we can catch you up or have you kind of, if you want to meet with me or Justin or anyone beforehand to kind of give your thoughts on the promotion materials.
Yeah,
Which I don't think
okay.
we have put together yet.
5
Okay.
o'clock. 5 o'clock?
Is that
And-
5 or 6, David?
Yes,
Is it 5 or 6?
Yes.
whatever works best for people, so 5 or 6 folks.
This is next Tuesday we're talking?
Yes.
Okay.
The second, right?
Yeah, that sounds right, the second.
Second.
Hey, if nobody has objection, I mean, I'll say 6. But if people would
What-
rather have 5, I'm okay with that.
But then was that one of the days that Falco has the 6 o'clock meeting?
No, on Tuesday the 2nd, I'm clear. I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like Falco's underwater.
It does.
Oh, sorry.
He went down with that much.
Okay, so let's. Item, I'll send around an email. And I guess I should have asked Chief, would you be available for that? Because this is one of those ones where we're gonna need quite a bit of your input too. Uh-oh.
That's why I gotta run out of here tonight, because I have, Little League practice, but,
Oh,
I'll work-
well,
I'll work on
let's
it.
bump it
David.
back to 5 then, if that helps.
It probably would for me, but does that screw everybody else up?
That's fine for me.
5's good for me.
Okay, let's say 5 o'clock Tuesday.
Okay,
Whoever does the advertising meetings and stuff. Do we have to advertise that, Falco, because it's an executive session, or do we just state that we're having one?
No, you just state that you're having one. You don't have to advertise it.
Okay,
You have to
So-
state at the beginning of your next meeting that you had an executive meeting.
okay. So if anyone has any violent objections to next Tuesday at 5 o'clock, let me know. Otherwise, let's pencil that in so that we have it on the agenda or on our own agendas.
May I just make a comment? It would be really helpful. Jack just sent me, because I couldn't find the regulations that we are gonna be starting to work with. If we had a copy of those prior to the meeting so that we can look them over and make suggestions right away and move it along a little faster. Does everybody have copies of that?
I just brought it up.
I just sent it to everybody.
You did? Oh,
I
thank
sent
you.
it.
Thank you.
Oh,
Um,
okay, thanks, Jack, because, yeah, I was gonna say that I don't think we have any of that.
But be careful, when you look at what I sent, you have to look, the code doesn't have the new ordinance in it. You have to look at the new code that's above. And that'll show what's in there. So just be cautious.
Okay. And then I guess the other thing would be if we have anything, and I don't know if we could even get to all of this in a single meeting anyway, but to put it in your back of your head, it would be the same thing as with these interviews where, you know, we'd want to have that question matrix, that interview matrix. I don't know if we have something started on that or not, but that's something that'll come along with all of this.
Jack gave me the interview questions that we had before, and we can work from those.
Okay, if that can get circulated somehow so that we all have it.
Yeah, you know what,
Actually, that was for the sergeant.
yeah, that's what we're looking at.
Okay.
This is sergeant's role exam. And do we have a different one for the lieutenants, or is it basically the same test?
There is a first line sergeant's written exam and a second line written exam for lieutenants.
And those aren't in.
That's, we
That's what we
need
need.
that.
Yeah, we need those. That's what we're gonna change.
I'll look, see what I can dig up. I do want to mention that when you advertise, you have to give them then like 2 weeks to advertise, and then you have to give them maybe 6 weeks to study. So there's, you know,
So you're still looking at 8 weeks.
yeah,
before you can-
I just want you to know that everything's longer than you think.
Well, yeah, I'm learning that the hard way. I really am. But that being said, that's if we decide to do a lieutenant. We may not decide to do lieutenant. Okay,
But in any case, you know, it's just a matter of how urgent it is, but this board should have that stuff in process anyway. So, you know,
Oh,
whether
yeah.
you guys are gonna
I mean, I'd
all
like
this
to,
stuff.
I'd like to get everything buttoned up before year's end. I want to make sure that we have a healthy police force and that the command structure is adjusted as we had talked about before year's end, and I don't think that's unreasonable.
Yep.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
So with that, that covers most of the stuff. Are there any other general updates first? Anything anyone on the board wants to update on or bring up that could come under the umbrella of a general update?
At this point, do you have anything, Ryan?
I don't, I'm good.
Nothing, somebody can make a motion to adjourn.
Well, public
Yep.
comment.
Yeah, just to make sure any public comments on anything from the meeting. I'm assuming there's still no public there, but.
Okay,
All
good.
right. So
Motion.
now I will entertain a motion to adjourn if there's nothing else.
Rita just
I
gave-
second it.
Okay, Rita made the motion and Matt seconded it.
And I
Um,
just wanted to chime in and say, I'm sorry I'm late, but thank you for your understanding.
No problem. Thanks for coming. I actually thought you were gonna be a little bit later, or else I might have tried to wait to start the meeting.
Oh, no, that's fine. I can listen to the recording and get caught up too. So, and
Yeah,
thanks for
yeah, we
stepping
have
in,
it.
David.
All right, so we have a motion to adjourn. That's been seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, we are adjourned. And I guess just as a side note, we should add that, you know, Amy did join the meeting, you know, in the attendance part. We should just make a note of that somewhere, but.
Yep.
All right, thanks, everybody.
All
Lunch,
right, take care.
It's falling.
Bye.